Chapter 5. Terrible Knights. Bonk. Bor's armored fist came down on Sir Eric's helmet. What was that for? Getting in my way. Your way? You were in my way, you oaf. Oaf? Do you prefer lummox? Bors shoved Eric. Eric shoved Bors. Hector tried to break it up and was kicked in the shin for his effort. So he kicked back instead. They pushed, they slapped, they fell over. It was clanging and awkward. If I were alone, I would have smited all the creatures with ease, said Bors. Smote, corrected Hector. Watch it, bookworm, Bors said, turning to Hector. You'd think you'd be better alone? Shouted Eric. I know I would. I'm the king of alone. I adventure solo. No squire, no companions, no irritating, clumsy oafs to trip over. Oaves, corrected Hector. Oaves is not a word. I can read too, Hector, snapped Eric. Magdalena sighed and sat on a fallen tree trunk. Mel dropped the sack of weapons. She looked at the Black Knight. Magdalena indicated the trunk with a wave of her hand. Mel joined her. Thank you, sir. Ma'am, said Mel. The Black Knight glanced at Mel and then spit a bit of blood onto the ground. Bors swung at a leg and knocked over Eric. Might makes right, shouted Bors. Why don't you might makes right yourself out on your own then? I will indeed, said Bors, slamming his visor shut. You are all slowing me down. I'll have this tyrant king defeated by nightfall. I too shall go off alone, chimed in Hector. It will give me a chance to read Merlin's book, which might provide a clue to getting out of this mess. A fact that you knights are too dense to see. Reading a book is not going to help, but please feel free to find yourself a nice comfy spot somewhere, said Eric. The rest of us will search for and deal with this king. Are we all agreed to venture on our own then? They all turned to the Black Knight. The Black Knight had already left. Bors yanked some weapons from his sack and stalked into the trees. Hector, with the book strapped to his back, charged in a different direction, sword in hand. Eric dusted off his armor. He glanced up. Mel was still sitting on the fallen tree. He looked around. They were alone. Splendid, Eric muttered. Come along, then. He headed into the trees. Mel lifted her sack and set off after him.